What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be looking at the best 10 brawlers to max out with season 21 in Brawl Stars. So starting off with one of the best brawlers to max out right now, we have Sandy. So recently, he was like the best brawler in the game because there was a game-breaking glitch where you could never lose with him. But now that's been fixed, I've actually played him a lot in this meta, and I think he's a fantastic option. So there's been one kind of secret buff with him with his Rude Sand star power. It doesn't seem like a lot because a lot of times anyway when you use his Sandy super, people are going to run outside of it. But still, it does add up pretty quickly via additional damage. And also, I just feel like even though tanks can win the 1v1 against Sandy, the good thing is Sandy can get super easily from those tanks, so he can just keep cycling over and over again. I think is a great option in Gem Grab and Brawl right now. We've seen that recently in LCQ in the pro tournaments, and we've just seen him a lot more in a lot of different game modes as well. So he's starting to rise up in the meta, definitely creeping towards the S tier. Jumping into another brawler he must absolutely max out with the update, it has to be Buster. So just like last update, he's still incredibly strong. He only received a 4% damage nerf, which in tail just does nothing to him. It's not really changed any interactions, and his slow-mo replay gadget is still one of the best inside of the game. So the best thing about Buster is that you can pretty much play him with every single composition. You see him being picked early on in the draft, even as a tank, just showing how strong he can be. You know, he's a really good team synergy brawler because of course you need to stay close to your teammates to build up that super, and that's what one thing people really underestimate with Buster is the cycling of his supers. I know it only lasts 3 seconds, but if you can capitalize on those 3 seconds, pushing the enemies back, you can gain a lot of positioning on the field. And of course, his slow-mo replay gadget is so good at gaining control and getting crucial kills. You can play him on every single knockout map pretty much. You can play him on Canal Grande and Bounty, and then all the other game modes, even Heist, I've seen Buster work on. I know he doesn't do the most damage, but that just goes to show how strong he is right now. So for me, you absolutely must max him out. Okay, so jumping into the next brawler you must absolutely max out. It is a brawler you get a free hypercharge with in the challenge. So it sounds very self-explanatory, but it's definitely worth it. Even if you think the brawler is really bad or you're bad with that certain brawler, I think it's worthwhile because even in certain games, if you just get that hypercharge once in a game, that could literally turn the tide in your favor. Hypercharges aren't broken, but they are very strong in certain moments, so you don't want to miss out on that extra edge you might have on the opponents. You know, before it used to be the gears that used to give you the extra edge, and now it's the hypercharge, so you want to be making sure you're maxing out that brawler. Even if I put the brawler really low on my ranking yesterday, you know, like Pearl, Colt, even Spike, for example, still you can make an easy pop-off play with that brawler, especially if the opponents are really bad. You know, if you're playing low trophies, you're gonna be able to just wipe the floor, and also the team wipe potential just on pretty much every single hypercharge is insane. So for me, you have to max out the brawler that you get a hypercharge with. Okay, so jumping into the fourth brawler you must absolutely max out, it has to be Cordelius. So if you watch my second channel playing some Power League, Cordelius is just so strong. I'm even seeing him drafted on Shooting Star and competitive. That's how strong Cordelius right now. And it was a weird period, right? Because of course Cordelius got nerfed. People just really underestimated him straight away and just kind of pushed him aside from the meta. But especially since people have started to realize that his replanting gadget is actually probably the better one. You're able to make so many plays with it and get so aggro into people's faces, and you can even use this gadget inside of the Shadow Realm. So a really underrated thing about him. And also people are switching to the combo shrooms star power as well because he just deals so much damage, especially to those tanky brawlers. You could pretty much make a case to go Cordelius in every single game mode, maybe outside of knockout, but he's fantastic in hot zone, really good at dealing damage in heist, and of course one of the best defensive brawlers as well. He counts as one of the best brawlers in chucks, so he's just rising to the meta even more and might actually be one of the best brawlers in the game. So jumping into the fifth brawler, must absolutely max out. It is still a Nanny. So in line with the last update, nothing has changed about Nanny, and she's still as OP as ever. So it's nice for Nanny to be strong because for the longest time, ever since her release, she's never really been a meta brawler. There was only some cheesy strategies with Bow and Bounty, but now you can pretty much use Nanny everywhere. I'm talking as a mid in Gem Grab, which may sound, I don't know, to you guys that might not sound surprising, but it is very surprising. I've never really seen that competitive, and it's literally the best mid pretty much. Brawl can be really solid against other mids as well. Of course, deals insane damage in heist, and the #1 brawler in bounty and knockout as well. But damage is just too much. One shot so many different brawlers, two shots so many brawlers as well. A lot of times, if you're missing shots from Nani, of course, it's a skill issue because she's pretty hard to use. But a lot of times, it's just so easy. And of course, as well, autofocus got buffed as well. So it just makes it a little bit easier to confirm kills without Nani super. So jumping into the 6th best brawler to max out right now. You guys might disagree with me here, but I think it's Pam. I think people are really underestimating how strong Pam is at the moment. I'm seeing it in competitive. I'm seeing it in Power League. You're going to see the rise of Pam with this buff. So if you missed it, I did a video on this a couple of days ago. But essentially, Pam now heals just ridiculous amounts, especially with all of the buffs to her kit. She's got Pulse Modulator, which is decent to keep her topped up. You've got Mama's Hug, which has been buffed as well. But the big one is with her turret healing. So with the Mythic gear as well combined, she can heal at least 1,100 per tick. You might be wondering, well, that's not really the strongest. Well, it is. If you can position your Pam turret in a good spot and just sit in that turret, you just won't die. It heals so much, it's ridiculous. Especially in control game modes like Hot Zone, you're just never going to die on that point. You've also got her in Gem Grab. She's a fantastic option, and I'm starting to see her a lot right now in competitive and in Power League. So I think she's going to rise up even more. I think potentially maybe even an 8-tier brawler. We'll have to wait and see, but I think invest early in the Pam stocks because she's going to the moon. Okay, so jumping into the 7th brawler, you must absolutely max out. It is actually one of two. It's either Nita or Ems. A lot of people probably have Ems maxed out already, or Nita as well. I think either one of them is a must-have, especially if you're playing at Power League. So the main reason I would probably go for Nita instead is because you can actually play her on Canal Grande as well. She's a fantastic option, but they're just so good against all of these tanks in the meta, especially if you're using the Bear Paws gadget as well. You can cancel a lot of the tank's attacks and just destroy them. Of course, as well, both Ems and Nita are fantastic options in Heist, being able to get so much damage, and they're just being used pretty much everywhere in Hot Zone as well. The only game modes you don't really see both of them in is Knockout, but just literally all the other game modes, they're some of the best picks for sure. And there's just tanks everywhere, there's hypercharges everywhere, so they're able to get a lot of value with their supers there. So for me, you must absolutely max out one of those. Okay, so jumping into the 8th brawler, you must absolutely max it out. You're probably sick of me saying it already. It is Lou. So Lou, if you've not seen already, has the most broken hypercharge out of all of them, and the team-wide potential is just insane. I just can't stop talking about him. Eventually I'll talk about someone else, but seriously, you need to get this hypercharge. It is so broken. So if you miss what it does when you use a super and the hypercharge together, you will instantly freeze an opponent. So you can cycle your super like crazy with it, and if you get multiple freezes off, it allows your teammates as well to help you confirm those kills as well. And if that's not toxic enough, you've got the gadget as well that freezes them half, which just allows you to cycle like crazy. I've mentioned it before, it's literally like an ice rink across the whole map. As soon as you get one super, it's near enough unstoppable. Of course, he's really strong on Hot Zone already, but his other game modes, I'm seeing him on all the time. You know, Brawl, you're going to see tanks everywhere, so you're able to get super for free. Gem Grab, he's a decent mid or lane. I've seen it happen. Heist as well, he can shut down so many aggressive options. I just think he's a fantastic option and quite easily could be like an A or S tier brawler. So jumping into the next brawler, you must absolutely max out. It is Rosa. So still just like last season, I'm saying to max out Rosa because she's just even stronger right now. So if you missed it, of course, she's got the hypercharge, which isn't like completely the best, but just adding it to Rosa anyway, adding it to a tank, giving the additional speed as well. Just everything is just crazy to me. And you also got the buffs to one of her gadgets, which definitely does help a little bit, but more so her star powers have been buffed as well. I'm really loving both of these star powers. It just adds even more oomph to her kit overall, and you know, it is literally Rosa. She's the easiest brawler to play, and I feel like most people won't actually have her maxed out because for the longest time she was one of the worst brawlers in the game. So she's at the top. I don't think she's going anywhere for a little while, so it's definitely safe to max her out. She's just insane everywhere. Every single game mode you can pretty much use at Rosa. Jumping into the 10th brawler, you must absolutely max out right now with this season. It has to be 8-bit, so it might be a little bit of a surprise to you guys, but I was also surprised in the recent competitive event. I know it's the previous meta, but he's still pretty strong here. It was one of the most picked brawlers overall. Just going to show how versatile 8-bit is at the moment. So of course, I don't need to explain in Heist. He's one of the best brawlers easily, of course, with his boosted booster. You can combine that with so many hypercharged brawlers right now. But again, a lot of people are just scared of tanks, especially when you're a mid brawler. That's why brawlers like Gus have fell off, and high damage mids like 8-bit have risen to the top. So it's going to be a fantastic mid in Brawl, for example. He's going to be very strong as a gem carry, one of the best gem carriers for sure. because of the amount of HP and how safe he is to collect gems. He's actually been used in maps like Shooting Star, for example, as well, because the pure damage that he can output on the opponents takes so long to kill an 8-bit. Of course, he's really strong in Hot Zone as well. I just think his versatility is going up a lot, and he's super strong. So let me know down in the comment section below who you want to max out the most, or if I've missed out anyone, of course. But that's gonna be it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.